Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are in a different setting, of course. We're gonna take a trip back down memory lane. This is where I first started my YouTube journey. My first video was filmed in my bedroom, sitting on my bed eating Taco Bell. But tonight I was craving some spicy noodles. Yeah, it's the spicy cheesy quattro noodles, Samyang. And yeah, so let's talk a little bit. Let's eat a little bit, and then I have a kind of scary story time for you guys. So yeah, if this is the first time I've ever seen my channel, please consider liking, comment, and subscribing. I truly would appreciate it. And yeah, let's get to. These are still kind of hot, so I hope you guys can see good, because I'm doing this on my laptop because I didn't want to tear down anything else and all this stuff. So I didn't have that back then. I didn't have, the Yeti mic. I didn't have my room. I didn't have special stands. I wasn't using my phone. I was using my laptop. So that's what we're doing tonight. So I hope you guys don't mind, and I'm comfy. So yummy. Them noodles. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth. And of course I don't have a napkin. And the hubby is all the way downstairs with the kiddos. I just love noodles, guys. If I knew you guys wouldn't get tired of them, I probably would eat them like every other video on my channel. And I know it's not the healthiest thing, but they're so good. I love them. It's been a while since I had them too, so yeah, a little bit spicy, but they're so good. And by the way, this is going to be unedited, so yeah, because normally I do edit some of my videos, well, practically almost every one of them, because it's just what you do, Trust me, I don't have any problems with people that don't edit their videos, but when you got kids and everything and noise in the background, usually you got to edit. One more bite, and then we'll get to the story time. I have a Diet Dr. Pepper right here. Okay, the scary story time. This is one, I'll probably tell a lot of them from this point to the end of October, and we might go into November. I don't know. Depends on how many I have to tell. But okay. This story time happened back when I lived with my mom in Iowa. I was 7 years old. I was in first grade, and notifications, by the way, sorry. But I was in first grade, and I lived in Iowa with my mom still, and we lived out in this town. It was way out in the country. I mean, it was out in the boonies. It was this 3-story white farmhouse that was surrounded by cornfields, and that had an actual farm on there. that a farmer came on the property and took care of his animals and all that stuff, you know. We were renting it from him. Well, I just love this place. I loved being in the country. I like the city, but I'm more of a country girl if I had to choose. And I mean, where we lived in Iowa, your neighbors were like miles and miles down the road. It was far in between. Well, anyway, my brother's dad, which was my stepdad at the time, which my mom and him are now divorced, and my mom's remarried, and she lives in Indiana. But at that time, she was married to my brother's dad. And me and my brother are like 4 years apart, so I was 7 and he was 3 at the time. And my stepdad, at the time, he worked on the road. And what he did is he like drilled and things like for this company. Mm. And he would go like weeks at a time or weekends at a time. And I just loved it because don't get me wrong, I loved my stepdad and I loved when he was home. But I was a mommy's girl. I really was, because at the time I didn't get to see my real father at the time because he lived in Indiana, and that's a whole nother situation with the stepdad and my real dad. But anyway, so I was like a mommy's girl. I was 7 years old. I was in first grade. My mom was my whole world. And she still is. I love my mommy. I love my mom, my dad, my ma, and my stepdad, which is who my mom is married to now. I love them all. Excuse me. Well, anyway, so I love being home with my mom. We would do everything together and things like that. But one night or one weekend, my stepdad was gone on business, doing his, making a living, and he had a job out of state. These are hitting so good. I definitely will be eating all these. And so, it was bedtime, and um, we all slept on the third floor. And my room was the first room you came to as you came up the stairs. And then it was like my mom and my stepdad's room. And then my brother's room was further down the hall on the same side as my room, but his was closer to the bathroom. And my mom always left the bathroom light on just in case I had to get up and I had to use the restroom and stuff like that. And she always left the hall light on. Because, I mean, I was a little scared, I was a 7-year-old little girl, It was in this big old room. And the way my room was set up, it had, right here was the stairs that came up, and my room was like right here. And I always left the door open, the hall light was on. And the way my room was set up is I had like these, way far back in my room was like this picture, was like these 2 big windows. And then outside the windows, it was like this tree, and the cornfield. So it was like a classic, horror film, like bedroom. And we had wood floors. I mean, they were gorgeous wood floors. And then I had this big old closet where I kept all my toys and everything. Well, my bed was by the windows on the way back. And like, I could lay in my bed and I could just look at the door every night. And I always had my cat Whiskers. He would always sleep with me. So it was kind of comfort, you know what I mean? I always made sure he slept with me. That cat was not going to go anywhere. No. And so it was bedtime, you know, we took our baths. Um, um, my mom tucked us in. I had whiskers. She tucked us in, tucked me in first. And then my brother, he wasn't feeling too great that night. And so my brother got to sleep with my mom, which I was okay with, you know, because I'm like, okay, I'm a big girl. I'm going to sleep by myself tonight. The reason why Bubby is sleeping with mom is because he's sick, not feeling too good. So we were in bed, and I wasn't quite asleep because I would just lay there, you know, and I would just look out the door, you know, and everything. And it took me sometimes a little bit to fall asleep. So I was laying there, and I think my mom and my brother were asleep. I don't know. I wasn't about to get up and go check, you know, because I didn't want to get out of bed. And I was cuddling with my cat, and I was looking at the door. You know. Well, I was laying there, and I started to drift off a little bit, you know, my eyes started to get heavy, you know. And, next thing you know, I heard this noise downstairs. And I'm thinking, well, you know, I always heard noises, you know. It was an old farmhouse, you know. Things creaked and stuff like that. And I'm like, I knew within myself, I was like, my mommy locked the doors, and, you know, we're okay. And stuff like that, you know. But I heard this noise downstairs. And it sounded like something was rattling. Whew. And I'm thinking to myself, I am not moving. I'm staying in my bed because I'm pretty sure if it was something bad, my mom would hurt. Well, and then I heard creaking noises coming up the stairs. I'm thinking, who's that? You know, my heart started pounding a little bit. You know, I started getting a little nervous, you know. But I'm thinking, well, maybe it's my stepdad, you know. He got to come home early. And I'm calling him stepdad, but at the time I called him dad, you know. Because I practically grew up with this man. You know, 2 years old, I moved to Iowa, and, you know, he was like a dad figure. Well, excuse me. And I started hearing these footsteps, and I started getting really nervous, you know. But I'm thinking, I'm not moving, you know. I kind of like was, what is that? You know, saying to myself, what is that? And I was kept, like, I grabbed my cat, and I was, like, tighter, you know. And of course my cat was, like, purring and everything. But, I didn't hurt it. But, and the footsteps started getting closer and closer. I'm thinking, well, it's just my stepdad. Well, all of a sudden, yeah. All of a sudden, the silhouette of this guy appeared. And this guy was not my stepdad. And he stopped. And I just I took the covers and I pulled him up a little bit more, up towards my neck here. And I just froze. And I almost started crying, but I didn't make a noise. I was just like, you know. And he turned his head, and I couldn't make out who it was, but I knew it was not my stepdad. I just knew it was not him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who's that? You know, I was really, really scared, guys. And I didn't want to holler out because I didn't want to startle my mom. You know, I just froze. I'm like those, I'm serious, okay? I watched all these horror movies, and trust me, I am like those people that you see that when they see something, they freeze, and you're like, okay, you need to run, go up that way, go this way, run, what are you doing just standing there? That's me, guys. And I'm those persons that's yelling at these people on these horror movies that do the same thing that I do. I still do to this day. But I froze. And he turned his head, he looked, and then he turned his head back and he walked past my room. And after that I didn't see him for a few minutes. And then I seen him come back through and past my room again, and this time he didn't look in my room or anything. And then I heard him go down the stairs, and I heard the door jiggle, and then I heard the door I didn't hear the door open, but I heard the door make a shut sound, like really faint, like a shut sound. And as soon as I heard that, I jumped out of that bed. My cat jumped down because I startled my cat. My cat jumped down, ran out the door. I ran. I started bawling. I said, Mommy, 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 there was a man that walked past my room, and I don't know what happened after that, but I'm so scared. I said, Mommy, Mommy. And I was just so scared. And my mom was already awake. And she's like, come here. She didn't call 911 because we'll get to that. But she's like, come here. She's like, get in bed with me. You can sleep with me. Get in bed with me, and you stay in bed with me. And if you have to get up and use the restroom, you let Mommy know, okay? But she's like, I will be right back. And so she got out of the bed. I was like so scared. My brother was still asleep, you know, nothing fazed him. He didn't hear nothing or see anything. But I was like really scared. I was like, no, don't leave me. I want to go with you, please. And she's like, just stay here with Bubby. I will be right back. I promise. And I was just like bawling. I was like crying, and I was so scared. And I guess, so she went downstairs, and I guess she made sure everything was locked. Well, the front door was unlocked. And she says, I know I locked that door. So whoever this was, they either had to do a screwdriver, or they found my my spare key, because we kept the spare key under the rock by the patio, and nobody knew where it was, and they had to know where that was or whatever. And so then she came back upstairs, and like that night, it took me forever to go to sleep. It was really scary. Then the next day, my stepdad came home, and I heard them talking and everything, and come to find out, they found out who it was. And come to find out, it was one of my stepdad's friends. I won't say his name on here. Well, I guess he knew where the key was. And I guess my stepdad confronted him about it. And at first he denied it and everything. And then he came out and said, yeah, I came in your house. This guy was stupid. Oh. But I guess he's like, yeah, I came in your house, and I knew where the key was, and I came in your house, and I wanted to, I went upstairs, and I was watching your wife sleep. Yeah. So he was watching my mom sleep. Yeah. So evidently he had a thing for my mom, and that's just creepy as all get out, like a stalker vibe. And I honestly believe that if my brother wasn't sleeping with my mom, who's to say what he would have tried or what he would have done? Yeah. So after that incident, my stepdad still worked on the road, but we got a hold of the farmer guy, and he changed all the locks for us and everything. And then we got a dog. Yeah. But yeah, it was really scary, and I thank God that, my brother was sleeping with my mom, and because who's to say what he would have done to my mom and then maybe to us? I don't know. I would have never thought this person would actually done what he'd done, or beyond that. They were really good friends. We would drive quads and everything with them. My parents would. It's crazy. That's the thing. You just never know what people are capable of or what they'll do. It's scary. Maybe, I've been through a lot of things, like, not so much that, but a lot of scary, like, encounters and things like that, and with different things, and maybe that's why I'm so, like, more, like, I'm like a hawk. Like, I watch and I pay attention, like I can feel people's vibes. Like, if they give me the wrong vibe, then, you gotta go. Especially now, since I have kids, I don't trust very many people with my kids at all. I don't. My kids are my life, and there's no way. But I thank God that nothing happened. But yeah, that was one of the story times that something scary that happened to me. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. So, like, after that, it was really hard to sleep in my own room by myself. And, like, when we would move to new places, I would sleep in the same room as my brother. I couldn't sleep in a room by myself for the longest time. I had to have my brother in there with me. Not in the same you know, bed or anything like that, but he had to be in the room. Somebody had to be in the room. And yeah, my brother was like 3 years younger than me, but I felt safe, you know, just knowing that somebody was there. And then finally, you know, I got out of that stage and I was able to sleep on my own, but it took me a long time. You guys, I ate all them noodles. That was so good. So good. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the story time. I got more coming. I'm sorry it was been so late to get, you know, story times going and everything. But I still got 9 days. So yeah, I will be uploading and doing more story times, scary story times, and things like that. But anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I hope that this setting here didn't bother you guys. I just kind of wanted a throwback, you know. I thought it would be pretty neat, and plus it's comfortable. Sometimes you just want to be comfortable. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the story time. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And let me know you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video. And if this is the first time I've seen my channel, please consider subscribing. I truly, truly, truly would appreciate it. And it would be a wonderful blessing to me knowing for 3 years that y'all love me and I love you guys. And yeah, thank you all, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, my loves.